Okay, welcome to Coffee Chats with Authors Lightning Round. My guest is Dave Walsh. Dave, are you ready for a whole bunch of questions very quickly?
Yeah, I can hopefully answer them quickly and not just be like this.
All right, favorite novel?
See, I'm already dragging here.
Yeah, tough question to start with, yeah.
Oh my God, that's impossible. How can I ever answer that?
One of your favorite novels, then.
Oh man. I'm just gonna say Against the Day by Thomas Pynchon. It's about an anarchist blowing up railroad tracks and stuff back in the 1800s Colorado and stuff. Beautiful 1,200-page book.
Wow.
Doorstop.
That's a big one. Favorite game?
My favorite game is probably Disco Elysium.
What's that?
Disco Elysium is a somewhat recent PC, and I guess it's on everything else game. It's a role-playing game set in a fictional fallen like Soviet world, detective trying to solve a murder when nobody gets along with each other. There's like no like real like violence or anything. It's just all really cerebral and weird. It's super fun, and it ruined games for me. Or Mother 3, which is a Japanese RPG by Shigesato Itoi, and it's really weird. So that's where I'm at.
Nice. That first one sounds really good.
That's great.
All right, favorite movie or TV series? Is there one that you always come back to watch?
They can be one and the same, can't they? If it is Twin Peaks, because Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is my favorite David Lynch movie. And Twin Peaks, and including Twin Peaks: The Return, is my favorite TV show because it is a really interesting show that people mistake for something else. That's just a show about, abuse. It's really a show about like what do we consume, and how do we watch and care about things, and why do we like to watch people be hurt, and why do we let people get hurt? And people don't watch it that way. And if you want to say science fiction, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, it's a Japanese cartoon from the 90s that made me ruin my first science fiction novel, because halfway through I decided I needed to redo it.
Well, obviously had a big effect on you. All right,
Yes.
because of your background in combat sports reporting, how would Bruce Lee go if he went into MMA fighting these days?
Yeah, I mean, boy, that's loaded, because Bruce Lee is a lot. There's so many great things that Bruce Lee did, but a lot of Bruce Lee was a myth, and I think that's what most people in the know seem to believe. Super smart guy, really good at marketing himself. His small output of movies he was able to make are just amazing, and I still go back and watch him occasionally to this day. I think he'd probably do okay, but you need years of training. It's not 6 months of sprawl training. He'd need more than that.
Right. All right. If you could be one age forever, what age would you choose?
Is everything else frozen with me, or is everything else age? Because
great qualification.
Because I'd say now, because my kids are 5, and it's amazing. Like, they're at the point where they're learning things and they're doing amazing things, and their personalities are there. I guess I'd want them frozen more, but because the early parts are, oh man, they're messy. But I don't know. I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've done a lot of silly things, and I don't know if there's any part I'd go back to or want to live in forever. I like now. Now's okay, even though everything's messed up around me sometimes. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be frozen.
Yeah.
Nor would I want to live forever, because that would be the worst thing.
There's been a few books and movies written about that too.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite food? What's a food that you hate, can't stand?
Man, probably any sort of seafood. I don't like seafood. I grew up in New England around a lot of seafood, and I have weird trauma responses from childhood to seafood. So, it is what it is.
Yep, fair enough too. If you couldn't be a writer, what would be your next level down of dream job?
My God, musician or artist, or I went to school for all of these things at one point in time. I actually had a degree in art and graphic design before I finished it and then switched to writing because I took a writing workshop and got obsessed with it. So any of those things that don't make money, those anything that doesn't make money is probably
there's a theme developing there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, is there a band or is there a song that you love that would surprise other people to know?
So I used to play when I was younger. I played in black metal and death metal bands, and I used to finish my shows with Purple Rain by Prince. I am an obsessive Prince fan, obsessive Bowie fan. These days, I would probably say I listen to a broad spectrum of things. I randomly like. Okay, This is embarrassing. I am the top 0.1% of listeners in the world on Spotify for Halsey.
For Halsey.
Try to work that out. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I got some free stuff from it, and
nice.
I don't know how that happened, but somebody with a weird music education discovered pop music in his mid to late 30s, and I listen to a lot of it now. So I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
No, that's good. That's good, man. All right. What would you like for Christmas this year?
Oh man, I still love video game stuff, even though I'm getting older and I shouldn't. I really I put in a pre-order for a Steam Deck. I don't know if you've seen any of that kind of thing. And I was going to, hopefully they were going to ship them out sooner. And then I was going to pay for them with the tax return we got this year. And then mine isn't going to be, my pre-order won't be available until the end of the year. So I guess just that, because I'm not going to be able to afford it otherwise. Work it into the end of the year.
Yeah. All right. What's next for your writing or for your series?
So I have Trastero 5 coming out, and then I have Trastero 6 on pre-order. I have to write that at some point. I just have a nebulous December 31, 2022 pre-order set up for it. It'll be a lot sooner than that. My plan is to cap off that series, and then at some point go back and write the last book for On Leos, which it's got 4 books now, and I think a 5th book is just about what I can squeeze out of that. And then I don't know, I'm working on a very strange book right now that I think I mentioned before. It's like magical realism / like urban fiction. I'm gonna do something with that because it's an interesting book for me. I'm gonna try to work more books for me into the world too, and then maybe I'll do another. Maybe Intergalactic Bastard will become a series. I don't know. I think it's good to never run out of ideas, and I think I'm lucky in that regard. I don't run out of ideas. So I always have something I want to work on, and I don't know. I think I'm happy enough with my pocket right now. The Trastero books are doing okay. I'm gonna finish those off and then go back and polish off the other series, and then from there either start another one, flesh out this other book into a series, or see what else I can get out into the world. Who knows? By then, I am all over the place sometimes, and that's part of my strength. I have. Yep. If you look in my, I write in Google Docs for some reason. If you look in my folders I have there, my God, I probably have like 7 or 8 like projects that are 20,000 words in that I just abandoned and put aside. And then I go back years later and I'm like, oh, this is good. I got to do this now.
Yeah. Oh, cool. We might see some of those live in the future then. Yeah. That's cool. So we are recording this around Easter 2022. So would you like to, there's something you wanted to promote that I think is really great. Do you want to talk us through this? I'll pop it up on the screen for people to have a look at.
Yeah. So the site Story Bundle has, they do ebook bundles, and they have done pretty well for themselves over the last couple of years, although they did end up with a book by me in there, so who knows, but joking, of course. So this is a new bundle from them, and it's got a bunch of really cool books in here by a bunch of really cool people. And for somebody who is, I'm 39 years old now, and I grew up reading a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek related books. a lot of these people have existed within those realms, and I grew up reading, and I think that it's super cool. This is going on until I believe it's like May 5th or something like that, and you can pick up all of these. And it's a good thing, and I'm happy to be included in something like this. It's I don't know. My name gets to be listed alongside a bunch of people that I think are super cool and that I grew up loving. So I'm happy with that. It's like something, I try to let myself not get worked up about stuff, but I'm happy that it's happening.
It's a nice moment, as we were talking about off air, to be in something with someone like Timothy Zahn. He's great. And it's a credit to you too. Man.
I probably wouldn't have continued reading science fiction if I didn't pick up Heir to the Empire as soon as it came out. That was one of those strange things. And I remember when they were announced that, they're doing Star Wars books now, and they're gonna, continue the stories. I'm like, whoa! Like, had to go to the bookstore, get the hardcover. Didn't matter how much it cost. Like, devour all of those, and then start exploring all of the other stuff that was out in the world. And I wouldn't have gotten into my Isaac Asimovs and all those other people if it wasn't for those books. So sharing any sort of space with somebody like that is it's pretty cool. And I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life, music and all sorts of other stuff, and I've dealt with a lot of people that are pretty big, and this one's cool for me. So that's something.
That's awesome, man. Well, again, thanks heaps for your time. I know it's getting late across the other side of the Pacific from me, but thanks again for your time, Dave. It's been great to talk to you.
Of course. Anytime.